here. Oh,
Here
AJ.
comes the rain.
Oh, wow. Our prayers have been answered. Wow. Well, here we go then, folks. Q3 at the Italian Grand Prix, race number 3 in this second season of the Bluefoxx League. We've had 2 dry qualifying sessions so far. The threat of rain has been building and building. We've been seeing it in the chat. The rain is finally here. However, a few drivers going out on slick tyres to begin with. We can see there's a bit of a rush to try and make the best of the conditions. Probably the best move, isn't it?
You know, even a slightly hindered lap on slick tyres, if it's just on that kind of border phase, it's infinitely going to be quicker than anything we're going to see on the intermediates. So it's worth a punt. This it may not be tyre that they end up fighting for pole on, but you've got to try it.
You can't not. I mean, this is going to cause inevitably a little bit of a backup between drivers. You can see they're close. They are. They're going to need. You know, you don't really want to be catching up with the cars in front. It's going to make things really, really tough and really awkward when it comes to setting your qualifying laps. That rain is getting heavier and heavier as they come down this back straight towards Parabolica. The gaps will start to expand. Do you get unlimited laps to try and stay in? So this is a top 10 shootout. So whether these guys qualify, this is it. But as AJ says, you have a finite set of tyres that have a certain amount of tyre life. So you need to be using them whilst they are at their very best. Look at this, folks. It's an absolute train of cars coming down that start-finish straight. That is quite something. WKD Moss into Q3 as well. You can see Dutchster and Lord Vader into Q3. It seems like...
this is one of those annoying situations. You don't want to be at the front of the pack.
No.
You want to be kind of close enough to someone that you get a little bit of help sort of, down the straights, but you don't want to catch them.
Sort of want to be third in the sort of pecking order in terms of cars on the lap.
Third, fourth, fifth. That's the sweet spot.
That's normally ideal. A little shout out as well.
Yeah, it's currently Snacks, Dutch, and Flecky.
Ah, okay.
Flecky might be a little bit too far back to get the toe though, but Dutch and Snacks are in a very good position. Interesting
as well, you see on the cars the rear lights are starting to flash. This means that race control is deeming it wet conditions. A little shout out as well to both WKD Moss and Toad Carrot in the Ferraris. They are the only car, or the only team to get both drivers in to Q3, I believe.
Leroy cracking lap 23.9. He obviously
a great lap from Leroy.
That is the bonus of being the first car out there. Guaranteed. The wetter it gets, the worse everybody's going to be.
Callum Ultra 24.5.
The thing is, the delta between the slicks and this is what we were talking about. The delta between the slicks and the wets generally is around 6 to 8 seconds. If you're thinking that these guys are posting 118s, that all of a sudden is the 124 mark. So you've got to think with Leroy, he might have a great shout here of being on pole, just by the nature of being the first one, the only one to get a decent lap in.
It could be that our Season 1 champion, by virtue of getting out there as early as possible, I mean, all drivers readied up and tried to get out onto the circuit quickly. The fact he was the first one out, arguably got the driest, if that is a way to phrase it, of the conditions.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not an ideal lap condition.
It's very tough.
Slicks, but he, by nature of being the first one on the road, has the best of
Snacks
the
with
conditions.
tyres.
Snacks is gone. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Vespertine is exactly what Blocky's done.
Oh dear, we're trying to find a car to go on board with near Ascari. Cannot see one, sadly.
Through with Vader now. Yeah, so Snacks is on the outside into the wall.
Wow. Big accident for Snacks 22 then, currently sitting in P6. That may be where he finishes up, but it's hard to see these lap times being improved on. But
some of the 24s and 25s, might I say that it depends on it all depends on the delta to the inters.
However,
generally,
one thing that's important
5,
though,
6, 7, 8.
DRS now disabled, so drivers will not get that DRS little punch going down some of these straights. So wow, amazing what a little bit of rain can do. Throws in that bit of spice, makes things a lot more interesting, not just for the drivers, but us, the spectators, as well. This is
I do want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, I did say watch for Leroy.
He did
before we came here. He is strong around here.
For those that were here for that pre-race build-up, AJ, he definitely said to keep an eye out for Leroy. He has got out there, managed to set a very good lap in what was the driest of the conditions, and has made it count. That's the thing, folks. Whilst you can look at it and say he arguably had some of the better conditions, you've got to make it count. You've got to take advantage of it, hit those apexes, carry that speed, and he's done really well. As Exotic goes out on brand new softs, and oh my goodness me, I mean, he's nearly putting it in the wall on the straight. The soft tyres are not the tyres to be on. Vader flies past him on intermediates. I think Exotic will very quickly be heading into the pit lane for intermediates. Wow, you can just see it. Why he's trying to warm his tyres up, I don't know. He's more likely going to end up putting it in a wall more than anything. But see, look at this, a few guys now on outlaps on intermediate tyres. You can see, like as AJ said, 25 ones, 25 5s, 7s. They could potentially be improved with these intermediate tyres if they sync up an entire lap. The possibility of going just that little bit quicker is there. We will see Diamant, AJ, mark my words, watch out for the Dutchies. Your response to that, AJ?
Yeah, well, I think he's right. Gideon is very, very competent Dutch, very, very competent driver. Snacks especially. And I say, me and Diamond have had a couple of very nice battles in the wet in Boris's F2 league before. So they're handy in the wet, the Dutchies. And they're very in a very fortunate position that us British people are. The climate isn't exactly the best over there, but yeah, they do, especially the ones that we appear to have found around our sort of communities extending through viruses as well. They just they have a knack for the wet driving, the Dutchies.
Well, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on, like you say, that 123 from Leroy is going to be hard to beat. It's going to be very, very hard to beat.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of blue sky peeking
through. We're looking at the delta. If we take it on the best case scenario, 5-second delta, you're looking at 123. If you think that these guys are going to be doing, I mean, we've only seen Ultra put in a 118. Yeah. So all of a sudden, if you take the rest of them with 119s and then apply the delta, you're looking at 124s. So, which is what the majority of the guys have now. So, I'd be very, very surprised if we do see faster times. I haven't done a wet sort of a quali around here soon enough to kind of know exactly what we're going to see in terms of time wise, but I'd be very, very surprised that we'll maybe get some changes from sort of 6th downwards.
We'll wait and see.
We'll see.
Most people are all out there on those intermediates. Migro with the question, so what's the intermediate tyres? So during rainy and wet conditions, there are two tyre compounds or two tyre types that drivers can fit to their car. One is intermediates, which are marked by the green Pirelli writing. You can see the green wall tyre, which they're all sporting at the moment, and then the full wet tyres, which are denoted by blue writing, and as I say, it will be a blue walled tyre. Now, normally the intermediates are where it's wet conditions, but not very, very heavy rain. The main fundamental difference between the intermediate tyres and the wet tyres is the amount of water per second that they can disperse. I'm not quite sure what the difference. I think it's is it 20 and 60 or 30 and 60 litres per second that these tyres can disperse. So at the minute it's light rain conditions. It's not really heavy, so intermediate tyres are the best to be on. However, if that rain persisted, got heavier, that's when there would be a crossover onto the wet tyres, where that would provide that little bit.
And a very simplistic explanation is normal dry tyres are completely slick.
Yes.
Intermediates have like a very kind of narrow groove put in them with a very slight pattern just to take a little bit of water. Not necessarily grooves that you find on a road tyre. That's more like the sort of the full wets. Full wets are kind of like almost like a road tyre. There's a lot of grooves in them, a lot more channels for the water to go. Whereas inters are basically a set of slicks with a few lines carved in, not especially deep, but they do have some grooves in.
There we go. See, every day's a learning day. Every day we're here to learn something new. Believe 35 on inters and 80 on wets. It's definitely something like that. It definitely sounds about right. We're having a look at Whitelap NL, or Gillian, as he is in the chat, seeing what he can do. But at the minute, nobody is seemingly improving on their times. Leroy has stayed in the pits, doesn't need to do anything more. Ultra finishes P4 as he is in the pit lane. So there's a few drivers out at the minute, but the likelihood on them improving on
one
their
driver
times.
One driver this bails out is Snacks.
It is,
his mistake isn't punished. He will start P6.
It is indeed. His fastest time will remain. The Dutch Dirt comes into the pits. He is going to be P2. Let's see what Whitelap NL can do. Vader in the pit lane as well. Is he going to cross the line? It looks like he is. Can he go quicker? Doesn't look like he's going to. He doesn't. Well, folks. Wow.
A very anticlimactic Q3 that was decided by the order in which he left the garage.
Well, just like the end of Q2 was full of drama, that drama spilled over to right at the beginning of Q3. Unbelievable. But Monza seems to do that. BLT Leroy then takes his first pole of season 2. The season 1 champ is back on the top spot. Dutch Dirt P2, Whitelap NL and Callum Ultra take up the second row. Exotic and Snacks the third. Vader Moss in the fourth row, with Flecky and Toad Carrot taking up the fifth. Now with a wet race,